Good evening, students. Today we have to discuss so many points about the health and disease. Okay, because in all over the world there is several types of disease are created by different types of organisms. Okay, certain types of disease may be caused by bacteria. Certain types of disease may be caused by virus. Some of them may be caused by small types of worms. Okay, protozoans, plasmodium. So in this chapter, this is your largest chapter of entire book. Okay, so it will take time to complete all the topics, but one by one we will discuss all the points in a detailed manner. So first we are going to discuss the first disease of that is dengue fever. Okay, before starting the dengue, we are going to discuss the three most basic and important points of your 8th chapter. The point is that the first is etiology. Okay, what is the meaning of etiology? Before starting the any disease of that chapter, firstly we have to clear the whole process how that type of disease are generally created. Okay, so first there is a first term is etiology. What is the meaning of etiology? Because in several times in board exams there is a 2 marks types of questions are generally asked, that what do you mean by etiology, what do you mean by epidemic. Okay, epidemic we already know that, because in entire world there is a corona virus are generally spreaded, and it is also an epidemic disease. Okay, so before starting from that we have to discuss first the etiology. Etiology means a branch of medical science that concerned with the causes and origin of disease. Okay, branch of medical science that includes the causes means उनका कारण, and the origin of disease means कहाँ से वो start हुए. Okay, that is the branch of etiology. Etiology explained that the main causes and origin, उनका कारण क्या था जहां से वो तैयार हुए और वो कहां से स्टार्ट हुए, दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट ऑफ एटियोलॉजी. ओके, ये दो चीजों के ऊपर डिपेंड होते हैं. द फर्स्ट वन इज कॉजेस एंड सेकंड इज ओरिजिन. ओरिजिन मतलब उनका स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, एंड नेक्स्ट कॉजेस मीन्स होता है उनके कारण. ठीक है, उनका कारण जानने का और उनका ओरिजिन जानने के प्रोसेस को हम या उस ब्रांच को एटियोलॉजी कहते हैं. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट we have to discuss that epidemic, the most important and dangerous thing. Epidemic means it is a special type of branch in which we have to study the infectious disease, how the disease is infecting the other peoples and the community at a particular time. Okay, and it is a widespread disease. Widespread disease means it is spreaded in wide area, काफी दूर तक फैलते हैं, इसे हम वाइड स्प्रेडेड डिजीज कहते हैं, लाइक कोरोना. ठीक है, नाउ द प्रेजेंट टाइम इट इज स्प्रेडेड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. सो it is included that the infectious disease and the most the communities also play an important role in where and how much quantity and how much in numbers they are spreaded in all over the world and at a particular time. Okay, because time is a fixed, so particular time means these diseases are generally spreaded in a given time of intervals. Okay, so epidemic is the most important and dangerous thing for the disease. Okay, next we are going to discuss epidemiology. Okay, epidemiology is the another branch of medical science that deals with the incidence घटनाएं. ओके, सेकंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन मतलब कहां कहां पे वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो गए. ठीक है, कहां कहां पे फैले हैं. एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, पॉसिबल कंट्रोल ऑफ डिजीज एंड अदर फैक्टर्स रिलेटेड टू हेल्थ. Possible control of disease मतलब how to control that type of disease. Suppose we are taking an examples of recently epidemic event, and that is the coronavirus, and it has started from so many countries, but there is not any clinical proof that that country is a particular provide the coronavirus to all over the entire world. Okay, there is a suspense also, but most important thing is that incidence from where it has occurred first time, the China, the first time the coronavirus has first occurred, but there is suspense also. And next, distribution, कहाँ कहाँ पे फैला. Generally it is spreaded in India, Africa, Australia. Okay, next England, Britain, most of the country they have distributes. And possible control of disease, there is a not discovered any type of medicine yet to prevent any patient. Okay, that's why most of the patients are generally die in a single day. Okay, so that is the most important point of epidemiology. Okay, so considering about all the points, next we are going to discuss the most important, and that is the first part of our disease. The disease में हम लोग जो पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, सबसे पहला पार्ट है वो हमारा, वो है डेंगू. ओके, so, what is the meaning of dengue? Because in so many times we have heard that several types of patients are generally died with the dengue fever. Okay, why? Because dengue fever and dengue is a different and dangerous disease in which most of the peoples are suffered several types of symptoms, and they do not get a proper vaccines or proper medicines. Definitely, they will die. Okay, so firstly, discover the exact form how the dengue is generally discovered and how the dengue is spread in all over the world. The first point is that dengue generally it is a mosquito borne tropical disease. Mosquito borne means dengue is spreaded by the mosquito, but several types of virus which is found in the saliva of different types of mosquito. Okay, and which type of mosquito spread the dengue, we will discuss in that video. Okay, so dengue is a mosquito borne tropical disease caused by virus, and it is also called a yellow fever virus. Okay, why it is called yellow fever virus? Yellow fever means generally we know that typhoid or jaundice and pilia in Hindi, we also know that the several types of disease are generally combined when the dengue is a dangerous thing when suffer feels. Okay, but that time if a patient have a dengue fever, automatically same types of yellow fever and typhoid and several types of diseases also ensues in that person. Why? Because their immunity power is very low. ओके, इम्यूनिटी पावर कम होने के कारण उनको डेंगू के साथ और भी बहुत सारी बीमारियां हो जाती है. बट द प्रेजेंस ऑफ सम मोर टाइप्स ऑफ वायरस, बिकॉज इस मॉस्किटो में जो भी वायरस होते हैं वो उनमें भी अलग अलग प्रकार के प्रजातियां होती हैं, अलग अलग प्रकार के ग्रुप्स होते हैं, एंड दैट ग्रुप्स makes different types of problems in the patients. Okay, which maybe leads to the yellow fever. So yellow fever most of the times connected with the dengue. Okay, now next we have to discuss how to transmit. Okay, how to transmit from one to another. So firstly, the female tiger Aedes mosquito, the most important point. Several times the question asks that which type of mosquito generally spread the dengue fever. Okay, the most important point is that the female tiger Aedes mosquito spread the dengue fever. Why? Because when they bite to any other human beings, generally they secrete their saliva into their body, and that saliva contain different types of RNA virus, and that infect the all over the body of the infected persons. Okay, so they bite early in the morning. There is a period of biting. Okay, mosquito generally bite early in the morning or evening, and they secrete their dangerous saliva which is toxic in nature in the human beings, and that time human beings feel different types of symptoms occurring on their body. We will discuss which type of symptoms they feel. It means doctor confirmed that you are the patient of dengue. Okay, which type of symptoms generally doctor observe after the clarification of that you are suffering from dengue, so we will discuss also in that video. But before starting from that point, most important point is that dengue fever is a transmitted by female tiger Aedes mosquito. When they bite to any male or female, that time they secrete saliva which is toxic in nature, and that toxic in nature are generally enter into the blood, RBC and liver, and they destroy all the metabolic activities. Okay, so they bite early in the morning and evening also, and when they bite, generally their incubation period is 3 to 14 days. Okay, they have to develop inside the human body, and they take approx 3 to 14 days, and 3 to 14 days is the most serious, because in 3 to 14 days several types of functions are generally observed in the process, and that time. So coming to the next part, we have to discuss some more points about the symptoms. Okay, which type of symptoms mosquito generally spread in human beings, when they bite early or morning in the, okay, early morning in the evening, okay, these two types of duration when the mosquitoes aedes bite. And that also play an important role in the human beings, because several types of stages are generally occurred in human beings when mosquito bite, and that leads approx 3 to 14 days to incubation period. Okay, in this they secrete their saliva, and they also reproduce sexually in a sexually manner. We will discuss in malaria in detail. Okay, so the symptoms are generally arises after the 14 days, and which type of symptoms generally occurs. So first we have to discuss one by one. The most important part is first one is headache. Headache is the most important and dangerous things. Okay, headache is the first symptoms of generally dengue. In certain times there is a high tension systems are generally occurred in the human beings or a patient, and that leads to the headache. Okay, severe types of pains are generally occurring. And second, the high grade fever. Okay, high grade fever means there is a normal fever is approx we have to generally measure by digital thermometer 97 degree Fahrenheit. After that, when it reaches 100 degree, 102, 103 degree, it means there is a temperature of high grade fever. Okay, so here high grade fevers are generally occurred in dengue also, and that leads to the several types of death. Okay, in a certain time or rapid time of interval, बहुत ही कम समय में उस पेशेंट की मौत हो जाती है if they do not get a proper medical treatment. Okay, अगर उसे proper medical treatment नहीं मिलेगा तो वो मर जाता है. Next, the small pimples like rashes are generally occurs all over the body. ठीक है, small structures are generally occurs, and that is called rashes. And you all have studied in previous video, because rashes is generally caused by the different types of microbes, different types of bacteria which may be infect to human beings. Okay, so rashes is another symptoms of dengue fever. Okay, now next we are going to discuss that dengue hemorrhagic fever. Okay, certain times when dengue patients do not get a proper treatment, several times their brain is a totally destroyed by the actions. Brain is destroyed by the actions of several types of virus, and that persons lead to the hemorrhagic fever. Okay, and it is also called sometimes the brain fever also. Okay, so it is the most dangerous if the patient do not get a proper treatment. Definitely the patient will die. Okay, so it is a dangerous one. Next we have to go, the next point is that dengue shock syndrome. Dengue shock syndrome means there is a several types of disease which increase in the human beings to डेवलप द बीपी. ओके, बीपी मीन्स ब्लड प्रेशर लो हो जाते हैं उसमें. ठीक है, दैट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड डेंगू शॉक सिंड्रोम. ओके, डेंगू शॉक सिंड्रोम मीन्स सपोज इफ पर्सन फील्स a high blood pressure or low blood pressure, that means their body is totally become paralyzed on a certain times, and the patient will go in a die stage. Okay, patient उस टाइम पे भी मर जाता है. लेकिन सबसे most important point we are going to discuss that the next symptoms is muscles and joint pain. Okay, muscles and joint pain is a very severe pain in the patient of dengue fever. Okay, dengue जब होता है किसी भी patient को, generally they feel lots of muscles and joints pain, and that muscles and joint pains is also done in all over the body. ये पूरे के पूरे बॉडी में होता है, and that leads to the backbone fever. इसको हम backbone fever के नाम से भी जानते हैं. Means dengue fever is also known as backbone fever. Back means तोड़ना, bone मतलब उनकी पूरी बॉडी के स्ट्रक्चर्स को, and that is called fever. Okay, backbone में टूटते नहीं है, but due to the highly grade of pain in their entire body, that is lead to the backbone fever. इतना ज्यादा दर्द होता है, that is called backbone fever के नाम से डेंगू को भी हम जानते हैं. Okay, most of the times you don't get confused to writing dengue is a backbone fever. Okay, now next we are going to discuss after the discussion of all the symptoms, we have to focus which type of stages are generally spread in human beings. We will see in malaria. Okay, and after that when you take a precautions, Generally, the recovery period of dengue may leads to the 3 to 7 days. If suppose you are getting a proper treatment, definitely you will be fit and you will be free of dengue within 3 to 7 days. Okay, 3 से 7 दिन लगते हैं इसके recovery period में. After that, you will feel very healthy. Okay, so next point is we are going to discuss the prevention and control of dengue fever. Which types of prevention and which type of control measures are given in our society, in our community to develop the entire world to how to prevent several types of disease. The first one is that we have to include, we should avoid the standing water areas. Okay, why standing water areas? Means standing water areas is the most dangerous things. If there is a water which is stand in all over the process, suppose this is the area and here the several types of waters are there for a long time, it means there is a होम ऑफ सेवरल टाइप्स ऑफ डिजीज. अगर किसी जगह पे पानी ज्यादा रुका है इसका मतलब वो बीमारियों का घर हो जाता है. व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर इज अ सेवरल टाइप्स ऑफ मॉस्किटो व्हिच ब्रीड्स ऑन देम. यहाँ पे ब्रीड होते हैं, they spread their generation and most of the larvae are generally originating from that place and that also spread it from one place to another. So that is the most reason we have to avoid, and we have seen in several times our coolers, our water coolers and coolers, home coolers. Okay, most of the times when we clean out the water, several types of small larva like structures are appearing on that water. It leads to the disease and that is also a larva of mosquito. So we have to stop the standing water. जहां पर पानी रुका है काफी दिनों से, हमें उसको सबसे पहले अवॉइड करना है, क्लियर करना है, साफ करना है, ताकि वहां पे मच्छर जो है उनके लार्वा जो है वो स्टार्ट ना हो पाए, पैदा ना हो पाए. ओके, दैट इज द फर्स्ट रीजन. ओके, second, use of mosquito net. Most important point, if you will use the mosquito net, definitely the mosquito will not enter in your net and definitely it will not able to bite you. Okay, so mosquito net and repellents should be used, okay, to avoiding such type of disease. अगर आपको इन सारे disease से बचना है तो firstly you have to use mosquito net. Several types of precautions are also given in the electronic system. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक में बहुत सारे आ गए हैं, ठीक है, कॉइल्स आ गए, मॉस्किटो कॉइल्स, तो यू कैन इजीली यूज. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट, several types of novel vaccine has been introduced in the world to avoid dengue, but most of the persons are generally they use to avoid dengue fever, and that is aspirin, non-steroidal inflammatory drug. But these all are the medicines are most harmful for the human beings, whether it is male and female. Why? If the persons are generally become addicted to that medicines, definitely their body parts will become malfunctioning and most of the times the bleeding will occur from outside their body. Okay, उनके बॉडी से ब्लीडिंग होना स्टार्ट होने लगेगा ड्यू टू द एक्शंस ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेटरी एस्पिरिन एंड नॉन स्टेरॉइडल ड्रग्स. सो डॉक्टर्स मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स जनरली सजेस्ट द पेशेंट यू शुड अवॉइड दिस टाइप्स ऑफ मेडिसिन व्हेन यू फील डेंगू फीवर. ओके, डेंगू फीवर में नोवेल वैक्सीन बहुत सारे बने हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन जो नोवेल वैक्सीन बने हैं उसमें ये पूरे वर्ल्ड में, इंटायर वर्ल्ड में फैला हुआ है. और उस टाइम पे कुछ लोग एस्पिरिन, नॉन स्टेरॉइडल या इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग्स का यूज करते हैं ताकि वो उनको डेंगू से उनको राहत दे. लेकिन कभी कभी वो जो मेडिसिन होते हैं इट लीड्स टू सीवियर डैमेज इन देयर टिश्यूज एंड सेल्स आल्सो. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी शुड नॉट यूज विदाउट एनी प्रिकॉशंस ऑफ डॉक्टर. ओके, दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट फॉर यू. नेक्स्ट वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस दैट chikungunya. Okay, this is the most important. We will discuss later in a detailed part, but after completing it we have to take a look of chikungunya. Chikungunya is also a mosquito viral disease. Okay, mosquito viral disease means dengue is a mosquito borne disease which is generally spreaded by tiger aedes mosquito, female tiger aedes mosquito, and it is also spreaded by mosquito viral disease and long term disease. This is the most harmful for human beings. Chikungunya is a long term, dengue is a short term. If you will get proper treatment, definitely it will be clear, but if you don't get a proper treatment, it means the chikungunya will leads to the very long life. Okay, chikungunya means it is a long term disease of joints in your joints like elbow, knee, and several types, shoulder joints, several types of joints will become a severe pain. Okay, and if the pain will increase, definitely you will get suffered. Okay, and several types, most of the aged people and small pupils and low infant childs are generally, they are unable to feel that type of pain and they leads to the die stage. Okay, so chikungunya is a long term and which provides a severe joint pain. Okay, joints पेन में सबसे ज्यादा दर्द होता है जिस कारण से बहुत सारे जो एजेड पर्सन होते हैं उस चीज को एडजस्ट या बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाते हैं. सो दैट इज अ डेंजरस डिजीज बिकॉज इट goes on a very long time. Okay, in next video we will also discuss how the transmission of chikungunya and which type of agents generally spread, what is the precaution, what is the symptoms. Till then, whatever I have taught you, you all have to revise it. If you get any problem, you can ask me. But at last I am giving you one question. You all have to make a special notes of dengue. Okay, dengue में आपको क्या क्या लिखना है. First you have to write what is and how the dengue is generally spreaded, their transmissions, ठीक है, their symptoms and their precautions also. It will take your one page and you have to send me in my personal WhatsApp. Okay, thank you students.